Hey, hello everyone, Sean Simon, PPG Grandpa. Welcome to PPG Grandpa's Paramotor Podcast. Today, this is a bonus episode from Flying Flamingo Jade. She runs an all-girls podcast every Wednesday night over at paramotorgirl.com. If you're not able to watch it there live, you can listen to it here on our bonus episode. Welcome, everyone. This is episode number 13.
Angelo, did you bust in here?
I'm finally here. Hi, beautiful people.
So we got Angela helping out tonight because Krista and Shane are on a little mini vacation. And we got our special guest tonight, Jennifer. How are you?
Good. That video was awesome. It made me look so badass.
You are badass.
I'm going to say that as my morning affirmation every day, I think.
There you go. I'm glad you liked it. Hey, so where are you from?
Originally Minneapolis, Minnesota, now Omaha, Nebraska, Valley, Nebraska for the last 25 something years.
Okay.
And you're a Blue Jay.
I'm happy to see Tiffany. I know, Packers. Sorry, man. I'm Vikings. I'm a Vikings girl. But I cheer for the Packers when the Vikings aren't winning. So
Okay, that's good. All right. So how did you get down to Nebraska?
For physical therapy school.
Okay. So that's what you do full time?
Yep.
For your real job?
For the real job that pays the bills to buy the toys.
Yep. Are you married?
Married. This is Chris. I'm going to spin.
Sure.
Hi,
We
Chris.
can allow.
Hey,
Chris.
Two grown kids in college. Yep.
2 kids?
2 kids grown. Mm-hmm.
Okay. All
One
right.
of them got the airbug. He's working on his, he has his private pilot and working on his commercial rating right now in school, in college.
Oh, nice. All right. Let's see. Angela, do you have any questions off the bat?
Well, I saw on her Facebook that she's a Blue Jay. God love that.
For Creighton, yep.
Great school.
Mm-hmm. All right. We've got a live chat going also in YouTube, and guys and gals will be asking questions as they think of something, they'll ask you. And also, we didn't get a chance to talk much because we were having a little bit of technical difficulty. Imagine that before the show. I wanted to ask you if you are able, and we have time permitting, if you would like to join in a unrecorded after show. You and your husband can join in, and if people have any other further questions within this hour that they weren't able to ask, and they can ask you personally on here, we go to an after show. So if you're up to it,
absolutely,
you guys are more than welcome. We just kind of hang out and talk about everything and anything. Okay.
Chris was just making sure it was okay for him to get a beer.
Oh, heck yeah.
I already told him to go get one.
He's my girl. We got Angela probably having a drink. I've got a beer. Eric's been drinking or eating moonshine cherries with his Coke.
It's a healthy.
And Jennifer's drinking wine. So you and I chatted probably about a month and a half, 2 months ago, correct? Over the phone.
Yeah.
And just, I think you were trying to figure out who the heck I was and what I wanted from you, right? So we ended up finding out, which I think is pretty interesting. I remember in the conversation that it's a very small world, and your dad is actually from the area where I grew up.
Oh, yeah, in Wisconsin. Yeah.
Yep.
Menominee area.
And he went to DC Everest, which was a big rivalry for myself, and where my son just graduated from this spring.
Oh, that's funny.
So, small world on that part. So tell us a little bit about yourself, why I thought you were very interesting to come on here and share your story.
One of the big things, I know we talked about that, one of my missions in life is to get all people, men and women, but especially women, to step out into that. What is the thing you want to do? What is my what if? What's this? I didn't even know this was imaginable type thing. Paramotoring for me, starting as a quad in 2011, going to a foot launch in 2017, because we have a nice little, gang out here of about a dozen now. They all wanted me to foot launch and telling me to foot launch. And I had every reason not to foot launch because I'm 40 whatever years old. I got bad hips. I'm short. I'm not very fast. I'm not super strong. All of the reasons you tell yourself you can't do something. I had all the yeah buts. And that both my husband, Chris, the guys that we fly with, and the guys we fly with, you other female paramotors, they're all assholes, but they're like loving, supportive assholes, right? Right? They're all assholes.
Yeah.
You can't be in an air sport and not be surrounded by them.
There's some.
When I accomplished it, how empowering it was for me to go from this, here's the 15 reasons I shouldn't, couldn't, can't do this, to now when I take off and I fly and it's a beautiful, how I wish I could bottle that up and give that to other people that try the stuff that's scary with, informed, educated, don't just go out and do dumb stuff, but to step outside what you think you can do and how amazing you feel on the other side of it.
Nice.
That's it.
Yep. Okay. So Eric is moderating again, and he's got a couple of questions from the chat here for you. Nebraska Paramotor. Who's your favorite person at the Field of Dreams Airfield?
That's one of our assholes. So we could say the twins, and that'll make them laugh. Josh is our leader. He made us these shirts. Farron, see, we all got our team shirts.
Very nice.
Josh, he's kind of our leader as far as collecting everyone. So I'm going to say the twins, Josh. Sorry, it's the twins.
All right. Sorry, Josh. Bill H is asking question for you. When was the last time you flew your paramotor?
Ooh, a week ago, Thursday, 6 days.
Okay.
So I'm glad Jade and Angela, tonight's a windy night. Otherwise I would feel left out.
I know my husband is like, when we were sitting here waiting to go on, he was sitting here going, this is really nice weather tonight.
Can we make it later?
Okay. DP is asking, how old were you when you did your first jump? And choose one, jumping or versus PPG.
Ooh, that's what's so great about doing both is your weather predicts your sport. So we paramotor, we jump, and we boat. So if you wake up in the morning and it's a glass day, you boat, you skydive when the winds come up, and then you paramotor when the winds set, the last 2 hours of the day. Versus if it's a windy, crappy day, you boat and you pick your different boating stuff and you just don't even care. Paramotoring's not even in your picture that day. I love both sports for different reasons. The skydive, obviously, you have some dependence because an airplane needs to take you up. You have that adrenaline, but I love the time under canopy and you look around and it's beautiful. And we're in Nebraska and I think Nebraska is beautiful. And the Midwest. And when you're in paramotor, you're under wing the whole time. So you can look around as long as you want. So I couldn't pick which one I like better. The paramotor is nice. You can do it anytime. You're not dependent on someone else taking you up as far as the date goes, but it's your last 2-3 hours of the day only.
Right.
I did my very first, when he's saying jump skydive, when I was in college, because, when you're in college, someone says, let's go make a jump. And what do you say? Okay.
Yeah.
But then I didn't start again as far as working towards my license till 10 years ago. So I would have been 37 when I started to work towards my license.
Okay. I had something for you. Go ahead.
Been an instructor.
Say that again.
How long have you been an instructor?
Oh gosh. So when you're like skydiving, you become a coach first, which you can take students when they're past a certain level, and then an instructor where you take them out on their first jumps. So I've been an instructor, I'm going to say about 5 or 6 years or so. There's something so great about the first jump and the first flight for both sports. When you see that face and they're both ridiculous, terrified, and excited, I mean, it's like the best face you can see.
How many jumps have you had, Jennifer?
I had my 500th jump in July. So probably now 505, 510, something like that.
You are a crazy monster.
No, that's what's so great about this sport is I jump with these people who have thousands of jumps. So in the sport, I'm still considered kind of can be kind of a newbie when I'm on certain jumps.
So let me ask this. Does your husband do PPG and diving also?
Oh, yeah. So he got his skydiving license before I knew him. He married the wrong person, had a couple kids, divorced, left skydiving because of young kids. So then when I started jumping in 2011, that was kind of him coming back into the sport. So I am at 500 jumps and he's at 1,200 jumps. He's a pro. A pro rating in skydiving means you can jump anywhere you want. Those are the stadium jumps, the parade jumps. So that's on my list of things to do. It hasn't happened yet, but it's on my list. And he paramotors also.
Yeah, like one of the guys said, actually, Deweese from Mississippi, she said 500 and you're still excited.
Oh my
That's
gosh.
Amazing.
Yes. I love it because of you can do what you want with it. You can do like a quick hop and pop. Like I just want to get my knees in the breeze and get out. Or you can go up and you can work on formation stuff. I want to work on flying in or out or up and down. And there's something beautiful about the exit. There's something beautiful about the landing, just loving all parts of it.
So I wasn't able to, I asked for that video clip of you jumping out of, it looked like is it a basket or was that the airplane?
That was the Cessna 180. Oh, the pictures that you have were.
Yeah, it's the pictures. Looks like a
hot air
balloon maybe. Mm-hmm. Yeah. But the video that you sent me, I wasn't able to take that off of Facebook. So I'm going to see if I can share that. I'm just going to log into Facebook real quick. So Angela, if you've got anything you want to ask.
Jennifer, did your skydiving lead to paramotoring then?
You know what's really interesting, Angela, and preparing like for this, just kind of mentally thinking back on what is our path. In 2011, in May, we bought our first paramotor. We as a couple bought a quad. And this was 2011. So this quad is as big as a freaking couch, right? There was no industry back then. So that was May of 2011. I started my skydiving. I got my A license in September 2011. And then December of 2011, we got our scuba rating. So whatever it was about that year, it was magical. And no particular reason why. We just did everything that year. Did all those firsts that year.
That's fantastic.
Yeah, it was crazy. I mean, it would have been smarter to like spread it out, but you know, if it's worth doing, it's worth overdoing, right? So let's just do them all in the same year.
Do you have a large community of paramotors in Nebraska and Valley there?
So when we first started, it was me, Chris, Josh, who's over there talking smack. We had an old guy, JD, another guy who so very small. There was 2 to 3 to 4 intermittent, and there wasn't really a center community or village. And then what Josh did, and I hate to give him the credit for it, he got the Field of Dreams, cheesy name, but awesome. This farmer down south of Omaha. So Omaha's a decent community, 1 million people, not a metropolis, but a decent sized, city and downtown area. We have this Field of Dreams about 20 minutes south, which is this huge open field, farmer's land. I'm going to guess around 20 acres or so of mowed grass. And over the years, I think the combination of having the central location and then having Josh as a central go-to point for coordinating and teaching and equipment, now we're up to, I don't know, when we're all out there, 14, 15 people. Which is awesome. And like I say, everyone gives each other crap and you fly, and some people fly for hours and some for 10 minutes. And then you have beers afterwards around the fire and talk about how great you guys were. So great. We're so great. It was a great flight. Or look, did you see that dumb thing I just did? Did anybody see that? I wish you got a video. That was the dumbest thing I've ever did. So
right, go ahead.
I'm really happy with, I hope if any paramotors are passing through Omaha, they'll stop and fly with us because it's a great little community. We got a porta potty and everything.
All right. I am Going to see if I can share this. Can you guys see my screen? All right.
So this is leading.
Wow.
Wow.
So that was a really good training video. I went up with a guy again who has like 2,000 jumps. So what I was working on in that video was my ability to go up or slow my fall rate and drop back down, and then my ability to turn around and go backwards, which are harder skills to have.
Is that relative work?
She gives you her heart, don't you?
Who's that?
Hang on.
Let your arms be placed.
Are you singing me a love song?
That was apparently the next video on Facebook. Sorry.
So that's the video with that shows leaving a Cessna. A lot of times when you see skydiving videos, they're big planes. They're like these twin, and you see like a typical tandem leave in those big planes. Our planes are little Cessnas. So you have a pilot in an airplane, pilot seat. The four of us sit on the floor. So it's climbing out, and you hang from the strut of the plane and you let go.
All right.
Wait. Jade, have you been skydiving?
No. I don't know if I'm coming to Nebraska.
Well, they skydive in other states. I've heard of it before. I've seen it.
I would like to do first the little wind tunnel.
No.
Please?
That's insane. I don't want to drive a sports car. I'm going to go do the bumper car. And it's like the same introduction. No.
Oh, Lord.
I think paramotoring and skydiving should be on everybody's list, whether you call it your bucket list or do while you're healthy list, that you do until, if your body gets too broken and you're too old and you can't do it, then you'll be like, oh, what if? I wish I would have. You don't want to be her, Jade. You don't want to be her.
Okay. Hey, so questions building up. Hot Buttered Steve. Do you know him? Does that name sound familiar? Question for the guest. Hey, Jen. Woo.
So I know Steve's Hot Buttered Steve scares me. So I'll just say hi to Steve. It could be Steve the dog or Steve the stalker. I don't know. I don't know people's online names.
I know he's in our chats lately for paramotoring. So,
okay.
So if that helps at all.
We'll just say good. So not stalker Steve.
Yeah. Okay, Justin Schoen.
Oh, he's one of our local guys here. Oh, he says there's 24 of us now. Oh, 24 in theory or 24 that are actually flying this year, Justin.
So Justin says hi from one of the twins. So he must be one of the twins. 24 of us.
Yes.
And then Brian Waller, hey Bill Waller, has a question for you. Have you ever base jumped or wingsuit jumped from a plane?
So I won't base jump personally. I don't like the statistics of survival of base jumping. Not because I think like it's a bad thing for other people to do. It's just, I don't like the stats of it. And part of it is I'm a physical therapist for small business owners. If I break a leg or I get really hurt or I die, it's really bad for business and the kids' college fund and that kind of thing. Only reason I have not wingsuited is I haven't yet connected with a wingsuit guy who has a suit my size. I'm 5'1", and so as we all know of Girl Flyers, most of the equipment is one size fits men. So I've been signed up for the classes before. We got winded out when I've had like the guy there, they don't have one my size. So I've sat in the training, but I've never actually done it, but it's on my list. I absolutely would love to. Wingsuiting, most people are familiar with it. You go really far and really fast. So it's similar. You just slam that back, Jade?
No, it was almost empty.
Oh, I'm not judging. I'm just asking. So wingsuiting is similar to like a track dive. So when you're in a regular skydiving gear, if you track or you make like you're flying like a Superman, you can still go really far and really fast, which is a blast. You can go miles.
See, I think that would be fun, but maybe when I was 21.
How old
Have
do you
you
feel?
had any malfunctions, Jennifer?
Paramotoring or skydiving?
Either.
Paramotoring, the only malfunctions I've had are on the ground and self-induced. I did collapse a cage one time because I did too much of a powered forward. And I had a motor out. I had on my last engine, I had a choke. And what we think happened was the choke went back to its choke position. So I had a motor out at 150, 200 feet. So I landed in a field very safely. Skydiving, I did have my first cutaway, just a few jumps before my 500th jump.
That was one of the questions.
Yeah, it was. So in skydiving, they talk about low speed and high speed malfunction. So low speed malfunction is something is happening. Same with paramotoring. Something doesn't look quite right. Is this scary? Do I have a twig stuck somewhere where you have time to kind of look at it and decide? Versus a high speed malfunction is shit's going bad now. Make a decision, cut away. And I had my first cutaway on my 495th jump.
Oh, wow.
But what's so great about both sports is the training. You don't think, you just react. You do what you've been trained to do. And cut away, and the reserve comes out. And before I even had I had a malfunction. I'm like, holy crap, cut away. The reserve is out. When the reserve comes out, you buy your rigger a bottle of tequila? Jack Daniels is you buy your rigger because his pack job just saved your life. And
Yeah.
Wow.
Okay. I got to go back up into the not hot buttered rum, hot buttered, what is he? Steve. said, I just kited around you with my motor. When we were talking, you were trying to figure out which one he is. He said he broke his tailbone skydiving. I want to go again.
Oh, okay. He's the new guy. Yeah. Okay.
All right. Will Fly said he tried jumping off the roof with a bed sheet and it didn't work. And he's asking if anyone else has ever done that.
When I was a kid, when I think back to it, my poor mother, we took the cushions off the couch, like the regular couch, and put them under a tree, and we jumped out of the tree onto the cushions. By the grace of God, nobody broke anything, but I'm sure my mother was pissed. Like, I'm sure we didn't put him back and clean him up. We just left him under the tree, right? But that was probably my first, let me try. What's the worst that could happen thought at age 9,
Right. Okay. Brian Waller's asking, what cage did you collapse doing a power forward or aluminum?
The mini plane. And again, not saying it's a great product because of how light it is for women to get into the sport. I tend to have the personality of all or none or more is better. So if it's a low wind and I got to freaking go, I'm not a gentle, let's try this. I'm a go. And it was the left corner collapse.
Okay. Justin Schoen is asking. He's asking me to ask you, which twin is your favorite? The quiet one or the mouthy one?
The mouthy one after I land.
Which one is?
Before I go, he's like interrupting, like I'm doing my pre-flight. And he's giving me shit. He's like, what are you doing? I'm like, I'm doing a pre-flight. Have you heard of this, asshole? And then he's like, give me shit. Like, I'm like spending too much time before I take off. It's a pre-flight. So then when we land, so it depends on what time of the day.
All right. Let's see.
Jennifer, do you jump with an AAD?
Yes. Yep.
Okay.
After you have an A license, it is optional by USPA rules. I think it's silly not to. There's a lot of young people that don't. It's $1,000 investment, so young people think it's optional. The stories where I have seen it fire are not because someone's a moron or not things happen. Somebody else accidentally kicks you in the head, or you have something happens. About my husband one time, I'm not picking on him, he was doing a really high profile jump he was really worked on. He forgot his helmet. He ended up fine, but just that whole idea, he's jumping without a helmet, of what could happen. In the United States, as a drop zone where you can jump, you can be USPA compliant, or you don't have to be. So if you are United States parachute compliant drop zone, they require AADs. No, they don't for all. Oh, he's saying no. Yeah. Card. We hope you have one. But that's a good question, because it becomes what we tell when I work with a new student who's a licensed, just because you have a license doesn't mean you can be a moron. That save your life, save the lives around you. Same with paramotoring. Just because you can fly now doesn't mean you get to be a moron.
Right.
Care about yourself, care about your life, care about the people around you.
Safety first.
Safety. Well, equipment first.
Yeah. Safety
second.
Okay.
If I got to take a knee to save my equipment and I limp for a few days, I'm going to take the knee. Yeah.
Another question.
When your equipment goes out, it stinks forever.
Right.
Does the reserve automatically come out when you cut away? This is a question from PPG, the other Nick.
Yes, it's supposed to, and it should, but you also when we do our instruction, you teach your students, and what we practice in every flight on the way up, both you do a cutaway and you go to do your reserve in case the skyhook or the equipment that's supposed to do the reserve for some reason fails. So you still go to pull your reserve. When I had my cutaway in July, my reserve was out before I even pulled it.
Okay.
Or skydiving, right? We're talking about skydiving, not paramotoring. Yes.
Back up a little bit again to poor hot buttered Steve. Justin said, "You will now forever be Stalker Steve."
It could be worse names.
Sorry, hot buttered Steve. I hope you still join my show. Nebraska Paramotor. Question for Jennifer. What are you and Chris's average time in the air?
Well, my husband, Chris, has the reputation for flying for 9 to 12 minutes. If he hits 22, everyone's impressed. Like, holy crap, he did amazing. By his report, his favorite part is the takeoff. Like, the takeoff is great. Yay. Oh, it's pretty up here. I'll land. Versus.
That's kind of like me.
Are you a quick and up and done?
Yep. And Eric's like, "Oh, I was going to go like a mile that way. Go ahead."
So when we fly over the field, all the boys laugh at me. I'm the grandma flyer. I go up to 1,000 feet. Oh, I have a cruise control. Have you guys ever seen the Chameleon cruise control finger throttle? So my favorite is I go up to 1,000 feet. I put my cruise control on. I put my hands in my lap and I just look around. I never go away from the field. I just go back and forth and I watch the sunsets and the pretty buildings and the clouds. And then when I see my husband land, a little bit later, I'll start to come down. So I don't like to go away. I like to be up here far. So the boys like to kick the corn and kick the trees. I just go up to 1,000 feet with my cruise control. I've even gotten super lazy with the cruise control and I like cross my legs to go this way. And then I cross, like, so lazy. Hands are in my lap and I'll do that.
Do you like that Chameleon throttle?
I love I couldn't do a traditional hand throttle. When I first started flying in 11, we had that big old quad. This is so terrible. Nobody ever do this. We would Velcro it to my hand and Velcro here so I could control it, which in a safety standpoint now, 10 years later, is ridiculous. Like, you should never be Velcro to your throttle, right? Like that, you can't get out of it. But it was my only way to the toggle. I was Velcro to the toggle and the throttle because I couldn't control both. I didn't have a big enough hand and strong enough fingers to control it. So the chameleon has been great because I can do toggle and throttle separate fingers. But I love the cruise.
My husband is cringing at the chameleon.
Don't cringe. It's good for small hands. My husband hates it too. But
Well, then maybe I should try it.
He bought me one for Christmas because my
Oh.
other cruise control broke.
Do you fly with music?
No, what's funny is I have no desire for radio, to talk to people, music. I feel like when I'm up there, it's me and God. It's just beautiful and it's blue sky and I'll just fly back and forth and look at beautiful things. And I know the boys use radio both because of music or they'll talk with each other or doing formation. I'm just up there. It's me in the sky and it's gorgeous.
Yeah.
Boring. Grandma flyer. I'm a grandma flyer. I'm a total grandma flyer.
Let's see. I'm just kind of giggling because Hot Buttered Steve says he needs to put a 5-minute delay on so he can bleep out your cussing with beer belches.
Says Hot Buttered Steve.
Trying to see if there's any other good questions in here.
Jade, I feel like we need to go back to an important question about you and skydiving.
Show is ending now. We got to go.
I'm sorry, I'm losing the mute. I'm going through a cave. I can't hear you anymore.
Yeah.
Has your husband been skydiving?
No.
Jennifer,
He can go. I'll volunteer him.
Pencil it in.
Okay.
Just one time. Just one time. It adds to your badassness. It's amazing.
My parents are watching right now, and I know my mom is probably cringing.
Yes. So my parents, my mom, I never would tell them before when we would go. Oh, do you want a good mom story? Good
Sure.
mom story. The first time Chris flew the powered paramotor in our backyard, my mom started to cry. Sorry if you're watching, Mom. True story. She's like, "Oh my God, he's gonna fall out of the sky." She cried because moms cry, right? And he landed and it was great. So then fast forward a couple months later, she happened to be in Omaha. So Chris, my husband, is a private pilot. So he by far way more air knowledge than me. So he did the first flight. So then I did a couple months of we talked about, this was back in 2011. We didn't have the YouTube and the knowledge we have now. We had some crappy videos and trial by error, So then fast forward a couple months, I watch him do it enough. We feel like it's fine. It's time for Jennifer to try. You can only watch so many videos. You got to do it, right? So we go out. My mom happens to be in town that weekend. She's from out of town. I said, "Mom, you got to be chill. I'm flying for the first time. You can't freak out. Bring a book, bring your cross stitch, chill." I will. She did. I take off, I fly, I land. She comes up to me. She goes, Jenny, I'm so proud. I didn't freak out at all. That's what she was so proud of. I didn't freak out at all. I watched the whole thing. I didn't freak out. I'm like, "Good job, Mom. I'm so proud of you." So now she's a good air sport mom. She's been in the skydive plane with us and we've jumped out over the top of her. I haven't talked her into a tandem paramotor yet, but I mean, she might be right there. We'll see.
wow.
I'm sure her heartbeat was still
Yes.
bumping.
You tell your mom when you get done and you're like, "So this was a good day and this is what happened. I went skydiving or I went paramotoring and it was beautiful and I fell out of an airplane or I jumped onto a glacier or we flew
Jumped
over
out of
the
hot air balloon.
hot air balloon, a helicopter. We went paramotoring over the balloon festival. It was gorgeous.
Have you ever
you
done a, go again, Angela?
Did you jump out of a helicopter?
Yes, helicopters are really fun.
Oh, that is so
What
cool.
about a tandem paramotor?
Ooh, nope, I've never done a tandem paramotor. Mm-mm. I mean, I would. I think at one point Josh wanted to, like he got some new equipment and I was going to be like the, crash test dummy. But I have not.
Well, if I ever get trained for tandem, you can go with me and you can do that.
I'll go with you.
All right, let's see what other questions we got. You're not going to tell us which one you like best, jumping out of airplanes or foot launch, right?
I like them both for different reasons. I wouldn't want to choose one.
Have you gone to
Go ahead.
Have you gone to fly-ins, Jennifer?
Yes, we did Salton Sea a couple years ago, which is amazing and fantastic and gorgeous. And everybody there is so helpful and just awesome. And then we did Endless Foot Drag. We had some pretty bad winds when we were there. So I think I got one flight at like 9:30 at night with a strobe on, and it was a very well run event. It was just bad winds when we were there. So we didn't get much flying in.
Okay. All right. Did you ever think about putting on a fly-in down by you?
So Josh, our leader, has done a few. I hate to say it, it seems like you'll have all these amazing weekends of great weather. And then the weekend that you have a fly-in, the weather's crap. From Friday, Saturday, Sunday, you're socked in, you can't do it. So he's organized a few. We have a couple fixed wing guys that fly out of the same field. It's just never worked that it's been the amazing weather on the weekend when everybody's planning to come in.
All right. Question in the chat, what wing do you fly?
I have two different wings currently. I have, interesting enough, the Magic I just got about a year or two ago, and I love it and it's beautiful, but I only like the Magic for winds about 8 miles an hour to 12 miles an hour. If we have low winds, it's too hard for me to get up. I work my full head off. My heart's going to bump out of my chest from trying to get that. It's the Magic small. So I have this really ugly but awesome APCO hybrid. It's a hybrid wing. It's uncoated line, single skin. It's supposed to be for paragliding, not paramotoring, but it's super light. So I can do that here in Nebraska. I mean, I'm sure obviously many places in the Midwest, in the United States, you can have winds literally of 0, which is, if you have a bigger wing, is pain in the ass to try to get that wing off the ground and run. And so I use the APCO from 0 to about 7 miles an hour. It's ugly. Sorry, APCO. Maybe they have some prettier ones now, but it's white and orange and it's unlined, uncoated lines. So the strings just look like they're like kite strings, but it's fantastic for the really low winds.
All right. Brian Waller's asking, can you fly from home or do you need to commute to an airstrip?
Oh, good question. Depending on if you are fighting for sunset time, what is it right now? 7:39, combined with if we want to be with the group, combined with if we haven't flown for a while and you want the confidence of the big field. So we have a big open field just literally a mile from our house. So if we're pressed for the sunset time and we've flown recently, so we both feel, when I say me, I feel confident with my flight, then we'll just take off from the local field. But if we haven't flown for a couple weeks, you want the bigger space as far as your outs and your confidence. And if you have the time, then the Field of Dreams is better for us, which is, 20-25 minute drive from both home and work.
Nice. I'm trying to pay attention to your guys talking in the chat also. Justin wants a counter for every time you cuss.
Have I cussed that much? I don't think I'm excessive.
I haven't really noticed.
I can clean it up for the soft of heart.
No, we're fine. Did you have a question about chameleons or? Angela, do you have question?
I wanted to know if she ever flew on a crew, jumped, I should say, on a crew.
Like crew jumping?
Yes.
No. So for skydiving, no. I mean, if you count a crew of like two of us, me and my husband tried one time, it's really challenging because you have to have such similar rates of descension under your canopy. So and that was very, very popular previous. I feel like maybe it could come back, but I did one crew jump with my husband and it was unsuccessful.
Okay.
How many flights are you at in PPG? Do you know offhand? Do you keep track?
We don't keep track. We were just talking about it the other day. So this is the 10th year, the 11th season, and we feel like we average around 25 to 30 per year. You know, in Nebraska, almost always December, January, February, March, you'll get one or two flights in there, very short. Obviously, it's cold. And then, as everywhere, the spring is, you want to be out so bad, but the wind is awful. So what's nice is the day gets long. We have it so Chris can set up the paramotors. His schedule is more flexible than mine. I'll leave work, we race, go, 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 go before you get up before the sun is setting. And so this is like obviously that perfect time of the year, and now we start fighting the sun again.
Deweese Milstead is asking, do you guys get to fly together a lot?
Yes. I mean, every time we fly, we're in the air together, but he flies low. Like I said, he's down there kicking the corn and like the foot drags, and I'm at 900 feet. And sometimes he'll come up and you do the little foot kick to each other, like the, hey, I love you, baby. Hey, I love you, baby. Or we do, this is if you're scuba diving or paramotoring. This is the international sign of love. Okay. Can you see me? You say, yep. I love hump you.
Nice.
It's international for us. It's international. It's internationally recognized.
You've now given away your husband's secret.
He's a diehard romantic, he says.
Nice.
That's sweet.
But the other thing, Jade, that you bring up, that's a really good question, I think, to touch upon for those that aren't current jumpers and flyers, are the different options you have if you've never done it before. So for paramotoring, you have your tandem options, both by running and by karting. And then obviously all of the kiting schools or the learning to kite on the ground. And so for those that have any interest in the sport, it's not like you just watch YouTube videos, you buy your crap and you go to the field. There's places everywhere to learn the skills and the safety in the community. And then same with skydiving, you can either do a tandem jump for the first time where you show up. The hardest part is to pay your couple $100. You attach to a guy, he throws you out of the plane, versus doing a static line jump is what we teach. I teach you for 3 hours how to save your own life. We go up, I attach you to a static line to the plane. I open the door, you climb out by yourself, Jade, and you climb out. And
push me.
I will if you need me to. Climb by yourself, and by you falling away from the airplane, the static line pulls your parachute out. Or there's also one where you go up, it's another type of a education. You go through the training and you go up with an instructor, and the instructor, he or she helps to pull out your parachute. So that's where when we first started in 2011, there was so little resource of, you had crappy old videos and the one old guy, there was no, you kind of guessed, and for the grace of God, we were all safe and we didn't break ourselves or property. But there's a resource out there.
Are you attached to the people? I mean, you said you're kind of a smaller stature. I mean, you said you train them on the ground.
I don't do the tandem. I'm not tandem trained, partially because you have to have over 500 jumps and to have a tandem certification. It's something I've kicked around in the past. I don't know that I will pursue it because I am 5 feet tall. It'd be hard for me to manipulate a big body, but there are small build tandem instructors. So for now, I'm not pursuing it, but you never know.
Have you jumped other than in Nebraska? Have you jumped other drop zones?
Oh, yes. Ask me my scariest thing I've ever done in my whole life, Angela. Scariest thing I've ever done in my whole life is skydiving in Alaska onto a glacier. There's 2 glacier rivers that come down to a glacier lake. And they tell you in your safety briefing, do not land in the glacier lake. You will die. We can't get you in time. The icebergs are bigger than a house. Do not land off site because there's bears. They will eat you. You will die. Land where Kenny is. I don't know if Kenny is still around. Kenny is a guy. He's got 2 guns strapped to his chest. You land where Kenny's at. So you're told this in your briefing. Land with Kenny, or you're going to get eaten by a bear, or you're going to drown in the glacier lake. And you say, okay, that's what I'm going to do. And it was amazing and beautiful. If you've been to Alaska, it's different from like Colorado or Appalachians where you have foothills and then a mountain. In Alaska, there's just like, here's a mountain. Here's a mountain. They're like chocolate chips, just randomly placed places. And then you have these glaciers that come down in between. So when you're up top, the glacier lake, like the icebergs look like ice cubes. Oh, they're darling. Well, when you get down to them, they're as big as a house and a car.
Wow.
So Alaska's beautiful, but scariest thing I've ever done, I think, in my life.
My husband grew up there, so.
Oh, gosh, yes. Yes. Oh my gosh, it's amazing.
He said his mom used to tell him and his brothers to just go across the street and play in the woods.
When we were there, the cops pretty much said, we don't care what you can speed, you can smoke pot, you can carry a gun. Our job is to keep you alive. We don't care what you do. And you're like, all right.
Comments in the chat. Bill H said, I did one skydive tandem, and that's the day I knew I was going to fly a paramotor.
Oh gosh, either because you loved it under canopy or you hated the free fall.
Yep. And Al Houghton, sorry if I pronounce it wrong. Have you had students cut away a good chute and go to a reserve?
I personally have not, but we did have that happen one time at the club this summer, where when a student leaves, part of the training is you count to a solid 5, 1, 1,000, 2, 1,000, 3, 1,000, 4, 1,000. We practice this because when you're in free fall, you freak out. One of the providers not there, cut away. So we did have a cutaway of a student, not my student. I wasn't the instructor on that load, but that cutaway, a potentially good chute. It wasn't all the way out yet, but he cut it away.
Back to Stalker Steve. Hot buttered. He said, so fun fact about Jennifer, despite her stature, when attacked by predators, she grows to 5 times her normal size.
Well, they give me so much shit. So what do I do? Do I take it? No, you just give it back. Just give it all back.
Nick Griffith said, if a jump lasts a few minutes, is it much different adrenaline rush when a acro run can be done over and over?
So I would say in my experience, I can't speak for all that do both sports, the adrenaline with the takeoff of paramotoring is pretty fantastic. Now, if I've flown a few times in a couple weeks, your adrenaline is down and it's more like executing. If I haven't jumped, if I haven't flown for a week or a couple weeks, that adrenaline, I mean, I have to talk to myself the same way when I'm doing my pre-flight and my setup as I do before a skydive. That you want to be, I say to myself on every jump or setup, I'm a nerd. You guys have learned that now. I always say I want to be safe, successful, centered, and supercalifragilisticexpialidocious. So I say that when I'm setting up a paramotor. I say that when I'm in an airplane on the way up, both if I haven't done for a while because of the nerves / adrenaline. So for both sports, if I've jumped a lot, the adrenaline goes down or the nerves go down. Same with paramotoring. If we went, it's been a great week and we went on Tuesday and on Thursday, the adrenaline or the nerves are way down.
I love your.
Oh, well, thank you. We're talking about my favorite stuff here.
I love it.
So that's basically the word that we learned coming into this is don't be complacent.
Yeah.
So.
Yep.
And I agree with that. If I haven't flown in a couple of days, it's a lot harder for me. Like if I'm at a fly-in or we fly, a couple of days in a row, it's like, oh, okay. Like we went the other day, I went to a new airport up in Minocqua, and I told Eric, I said, I just don't feel right. And
I'm going to fly Minocqua just to tell my dad I did. Thanks for telling me that. That'd be awesome.
I just didn't feel right. I think it was and he's like, what's wrong? And I said, I don't know. I think it's just unfamiliar territory to me.
Mhm.
There was more trees and not as much water. And I mean, we have water and trees. At least I know I can go down by water
Mhm.
to the shore. I know
Yep.
in my head, where we are in Tomahawk. So anyway, let's see. Got to go back. Nick Griffith wants to know how much for a one-way ticket.
For skydiving or paramotoring?
Probably skydiving.
Skydiving, if you want to do a tandem jump, is what most people think of as a first jump, is between $225 to $250, depending on the event. If you want to do a static, where I teach you to jump, you come in, you do a 3-hour class, you go up to 4,000 feet and jump out. That's between $100 and $125. And that's for that, and that includes the jump.
Is it less without a parachute?
Well, don't do
Instead
it
of
on
one-way
though.
ticket.
Oh, that's it.
Justin, go ahead.
That we have, so our local drop zone, LSPC, Lincoln Sport Parachute Club, I have to give a shout out to. We're the oldest club in the United States. Most of the parachute or drop zones are, for profit, as far as they're a business. Somebody owns them. Ours is a club. So ours is, you take an oath, I will help out, everybody pays dues, but we own the land and the 2 Cessnas. So are we at 60 years now, Chris? 65. So it's kind of fun because people will stop and jump at our drop zone when they're like driving through town because of the reputation. Like if we do night jumps, it's a grass runway. You can't make this shit up. Go ahead. I just yell. I just cut again. And they take Christmas lights and car lights to light up the landing area because there's no lights on it. It's fantastic. Nice. It's fantastic.
Hey, have you ever done a water jump?
Did I ever land in water on purpose? No, you do water training, but like at a pool. But I've never landed in water on purpose. It's crappy on your gear. So you only want to do it if you have crappy gear.
Okay.
My mom just sent a text saying, thank you for saying no to jump.
What's your mom's name? What's your mom's name?
Patty.
Hi, Patty.
I don't know if she's in the chat, but yes.
So tell Patty she could come and she could ride in the co-pilot seat and she doesn't have to jump, but she could be there in the plane. You, Jay, jump out. I will jump out after you. I'll come up and I'll high-five you in the air. It's fantastic fun. But Patty could just be in the co-pilot seat.
Oh, okay. We'll talk later. Justin, what is Jennifer's next goal for flying?
Oh, what I would love for paramotoring, and this sounds such like a nerdy thing to do since I've been doing it for 10 years. I haven't yet figured out how to fly any type of an American flag. Like in skydiving, you can jump a flag. In other, I haven't figured out how to do a really cool American flag or red, white, and blue type thing with paramotoring. And we've talked about stitching something or like the loops for your foot so that would be, if someone wants to invent that, I'd certainly buy it from you, but that would be a good goal. I've also never done a land, run, and take off again, Because normally then I'm like, I'm good. And I just kill it.
Oh, a touch and go?
Yeah. Well, not even a true touch and go, just like I'm done. And then I've always killed it. So one of these days I got to just like keep going and take off again just to say I did it.
How many jumps, Tony? Angela's other half is saying, how many jumps before you stop counting? I think you still are counting.
I still count. Part of it in the jumping world is your jump numbers matter. Till you get to this point, you have to have 500 jumps to be a pro rated or a tandem rated or a D license. So most skydivers after 500 jumps, they do get, they count less. But because I just hit 500, I still write every single one of them.
Nice. Okay. I don't know what's going on with your boys in this chat, but I'm watching a little bit.
They were assholes. I told you.
I can't concentrate here because we're talking about vegetables. And now Nebraska Paramotor said, what's your favorite vegetable? And does she like ranch with it?
So when you guys get done flying, if you're with your group, do you guys hang out and have beers around the fire? Jade?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. So we do. And I always bring my cheap white wine and put it in a cup on ice. And I snack on carrots, baby carrots. And I snack on that because I don't want to just drink wine on an empty stomach. That's bad for everybody. But I don't like all the crap snackety food the boys have. So then I just snack on the baby carrots. So Josh, the jerk, see how I cleaned that up from asshole, always asks if I have ranch because he calls ranch fat girl ketchup. That if you eat carrots, you need to have ranch and it's fat girl ketchup. So every time, 10 years into this, he's like, you got any ranch with those carrots? And I will throw the carrots at them. One time I hit a fellow paramotorist in the eye, Brian, sorry. But otherwise, I just share my carrots and they make fun of me for snacking on carrots after a paramotor flight. Who snacks on carrots? You know.
And Jerky Josh is probably soaking wet 120 pounds and he can eat the
potato chips. Gosh. Right. And their beer and they got their like frozen, I don't even know what they have. Yeah. And they'll have like 3 hot dogs each. Like how good. If I ate that, my wing wouldn't carry me anymore.
All right. I am going to show, we are actually at the 8 o'clock mark, a little after. I'm going to try to find a couple of the pictures that you had sent me and see if I can share those with everyone. Most of them were pretty much in the intro, but I'd like to share them again. Give me 1 second. You'll see all my crazy pictures. Can you guys see this one?
That's my 500th jump.
Okay.
And see my shirt that I'm wearing? It says, I love my hot husband. He loves that shirt.
I did notice that one. Did he buy that for you?
No, I buy it and I wear it just to tease him because he hates it, but I love it.
Right.
That is a picture I had Corey take just recently because I realized I didn't have any picture of me in my paramotor gear. I just am not. So that one he just took in the last week or two. That's that ugly but very functional APCO wing. See, it's just orange with white and orange. It's just funny. But that's our field. Isn't it gorgeous?
Yes. So Nebraska is completely flat.
Yep. Totally flat. There is not a hill.
Here we go. This is pretty exciting.
That's
your
my
500th
jump. Yep.
Your husband right behind you, right?
Yep. The super handsome one.
Who are
and then this Sean, Dave, Hannah, Sonny, and Greg are the other buddies with me on that one.
Okay.
This is Chris, my husband, and another buddy got a helicopter to come to the drop zone. So when a helicopter comes to the drop zone, it's a BFD. Like it's so much fun. And because of the weight and balance issue, even though Chris worked so hard to get this helicopter to the drop zone, I got to go before he did. And you just grin like that. It's just total ear to ear shit eating grin because when the helicopter hovers for you to jump, it's totally still, perfectly still. So you just fall into this like totally still, beautiful air. It's gorgeous.
Okay, I'm going to go back. Who is Quincy? Which one is he?
There's no Quincy.
Oh,
Sonny, Greg, Dave, Hannah, and Sean.
okay.
Who are the twins?
The twins aren't in this. This is a skydiving jump.
Okay.
Okay.
You don't want to see a picture of the twins.
Your hubby here, I take it.
There's hubby. Yep. So
Aw.
I love jumping the flag. It's one of my favorite things. My growing up, my stepdad, huge patriot. You always fly a flag in your yard. You always take off your hat. You say the Pledge of Allegiance. You sing the Star Spangled Banner. You support your company. Yeah. So, anyways, jumping the flag to me is one of my favorite things to do.
Oh.
I'm not sure. Those look like my people. Those are Jade people.
Nope, that was my son and I doing where were those Snapchats on my
Oh,
dad's birthday. Hang on, I've got
Yep.
some more pictures here. I want to try to find. They were a little scattered here. They were after my dad's birthday. And get me back on Zoom.
So Jennifer, just like Jade and Eric, do you ever fly in the cold or jump in?
so we'll jump year round. I've jumped many times in the very cold. It's easier to jump in the cold than to fly in the cold. You can have heated gloves, and you just do what's called a hop and pop. You get out at 4,000 feet, jump 5 seconds, land, come in. And again, you're just feeling like that. I got my knees to the breeze and some fresh air. So we'll jump year round. Flying, I feel like my cutoff is about 50 degrees, not hardcore, but below that, you're so cold, the whole time. I have Raynaud's, I have crappy hands. So then I work so hard to keep my hands warm that it's just not fun. But I mean, come January, when you hit like 49, 50 degrees, you're out,
All right. So who are the guys behind you here?
So this is a jump in Puerto Rico. I don't know who they are. You load the plane
okay.
based on how your exit is. So whoever was on that jump with me behind me, and who would be earlier out in the plane.
Oh, okay.
That was a Puerto Rico jump. This was my first time jumping the flag. Like I said, I love jumping the flag. I have such great pride. So when I jumped the flag, the way the boys jump the flag, like the normal people, they wear it in like a fanny pack around their waist, but you have to put a big weight on it. If you don't put a weight on the flag, it streamers behind you. It doesn't go straight. Well, I can't carry that much weight on me. Those tend to weigh around 50 pounds. So I put the flag in my boobs there. See it in my bra?
Oh, yeah.
It's the only time
Nice.
I've ever had big boobs in my whole life. So we figured out that I can put the flag in my boobs in my sports bra, and I don't have to have extra weight for it. So that picture is my first time ever jumping a flag. And it's in my
Very
boobs.
This is a cool picture right here. I love this one.
That was the quad, and that was the quintessential picture of you're all set up, you're ready to go, and the wind comes up. You know how you're like, oh, like you're set up, you're perfect, you're into the wind, it's gorgeous. Here comes a big wind and ruffles everything. And so now, it's not just straightening out your gear. It's like there's something coming in. I got to wait and see what the wind's going to do, right? So that's just like, oh,
This is a cool picture. And who's this?
This is a next door neighbor. Like I said earlier, we love to boat. So we pick our sports based on the weather. So this is surfing. If you've ever been on a wake boat, the boat can make a board big enough, or a wake behind it big enough that you can surf like that. So you start with a rope and then you can let go. So I'm just surfing behind our boat. So that's a neighbor kid.
Oh, sweet.
So
Fun.
you get up with the boat with a rope, like a ski rope, but shorter. And then once you get the wave on the wave and the wave is big enough, then you can let go.
Is this your boat?
Yes. Yep.
Oh, I'll be there for that.
We'll boat and jump, Jade. It'll be a perfect weekend.
We'll just boat. So this is pretty cool. There's 3 of them here. If you guys look back at the intro, I kind of got them in there otherwise too. And you can tell I saw the basket here. I figured it was a hot air balloon.
It's in a hot, if you've ever been in a hot air balloon, it's ridiculous quiet. It is so quiet you can't imagine. So when you let go, like I started screaming before I let go. There was audio. I'm like, ah! It's like you're just falling off a building. It's totally quiet. There's no propeller. There's no anything. It's just ridiculously quiet, scary, awesome.
Did the hot air balloon pilot scream with you?
I don't know. I couldn't hear him over myself.
And then there. Man.
Still screaming. This is a fun because you try to hit when you land on the drop zone. Most of it's grass, and there's this pea gravel pit area, which is what you work on for accuracy. So when you're having a competition, they put if you can see the hula hoop in the center. So if you're having an accuracy competition, it's how close you get to the hula hoop. So this is me. This isn't great form. All the skydivers out there are going to look at this and be like, what the heck is she doing? But I hit the hula hoop, so I didn't care. I was on my feet at the hula hoop.
You were just reaching for, you were picking it up after
I landed on my feet and I hit the hula hoop. So it was a beautiful moment. This one was our backyard. This one I was probably on like jump 200. So this house, we had our house, a big kind of a park area, and then the lake that you can see. And it was a 4th of July jump. And I was super scared, not necessarily of landing safely, but landing on my feet. You don't want to land on your butt and you're in front of an audience of your neighbors. So I landed on my feet. I'm like, yeah.
Nice.
In my backyard with my neighbors in front. So that was really fun.
All right. And then I ended your intro with this. And
I love to run. And that's me jumping.
Oh, okay.
That's how I jump the flag, since I can't do the weight like the boys do. The boys would put the weight, the flag off their body with a weight down below. But because I can't jump with that much weight, I put it on my lines and my foot like that. So then right before I land, I kick it off to land, and then the flag doesn't touch the ground.
All right. Okay. So Eric has put the passcode in the chat if anybody wants to join in after we shut down our live. Brian Waller, looking at the chats here, he just said, Jade, your show has really taken off. You have great guests and have already got good follows of folks. Looking forward to seeing the show grow. Thanks, Jennifer B. Yes. Thank you, Brian, very much. And I'm enjoying doing this for sure. Getting to meet all these awesome ladies. So Jennifer, are you willing to stick around?
Oh, sure. There's other.
Right. And Angela, if you and Tony want to join in the after show, I'm just going to say, if you guys like the show, please give us a thumbs up. Please hit that subscribe button. I need some more subscribers so we can share the stories of all these wonderful ladies. I'm in the process of trying to get a couple ladies from across the world, trying to find interpreters for some of them. But I thank you all for hanging in there with me every week as I'm learning this process myself, and Eric's helping in the background. Krista's here when she is here helping out, even though she really doesn't want to, but she is good at what she does. And Shane in the background also helping moderate. I appreciate you guys all. And Angela and Tony, thank you for helping out tonight. And Angela and Tony, do you guys have any social media that you guys can be reached at?
Nope.
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 Well, you're on Facebook. I know that.
Yes, that I'm very.
Yeah.
I just want to say, Jennifer, you are an amazing guest. Your energy and your love for life is just contagious.
Oh, thank you very much. I appreciate that.
And
go Vikings.
Hey.
Here.
And Jennifer, do you have any social media that we can find you at and get to see all your fun excitement?
Just, on Facebook.
Facebook?
Okay. BRAN, yeah.
All right. I'm in the process of making a shop online. I'm learning. Like I said, I'm not very tech savvy, but Eric and I have made some new shirts. Girls Just Want to Fly. They got the logo on the back. Pink, we got blue. So when anybody sees this get posted, we're going to have shirts for sale, and we have been trying to take them to fly-ins also. And we've got some vinyl also for people's vehicles or shop windows, whatever you want to do with them. Put them on your one wheels, anything like that. So I appreciate it. And I'm on, you can reach me, contact me at Jade Lear on Facebook, or you can go to paramotorgirl.com. That'll take you to my YouTube page, and I go by the name of Flying Flamingo Jade. And I do TikTok once in a while just to advertise the show. And I appreciate you guys being here every week for me and Krista. So you guys have a good night, and you guys hang around here, okay? I'm going to shut down the show.
Good night.
Thank
Go
you.
back.
Go back.
All right, good night.
All right. Give it 1 second.
Let's see who's there. Yeah, we are leaving. We have a 7:00 airplane tomorrow to go to New Orleans for the weekend, which we've never been. We get to see Eric Clapton in concert.
Very nice.
Mhm.
Hopefully hang on, I'm going to stop recording. Okay. I'm going to stop recording to the cloud. Actually, I'm going to leave it for now. We'll see if anybody wants to join in. If you want your husband to come in and hang out by you, this is my husband, Eric.
Hi, Eric. Here's Chris.
Hello, Jennifer.
Oh, I have to make this taller for him. Here we go. No, come here, babe.
So good.
So it sounds like you do what I do to my wife is what you do.
Yeah, pretty much. Takes
Oh,
care of the motors.
Cut out. We don't hear.
Oh, we lost you again. You muted me again, Jade. Jade.
Okay, sorry. I thought
there
he
you
was
go.
on his.
No, you know, you get a wild hair up your butt and you're like, hey, let's try this year. That's what we do. Or that's
Yeah,
what I do.
that's what paramotoring was, and I didn't say this. We didn't say it on the show, but I'd never even seen one fly before I had my first flight.
Really?
Yeah, I was a pilot already and skydiver, for a lot of years, and I said, well, this is what I've seen it on YouTube. And so my first flight that she talked about was actually the first I'd ever even seen anybody fly one. So.
And it was in our backyard at a
Yeah, but I was like, no big deal, but would not recommend that to anybody else.
not the best.
No, actually, the first time I saw a paramotor flying was our neighbor was down in the Outer Banks of North Carolina, and he was videoing this poor paramotor guy that couldn't launch.
Actually, I thought it was.
Yeah,
Or maybe it was Gulf Shores.
I saw a guy do the same thing. He showed up at our drop zone. The guy that used to train, paramotors around here. But he showed up to show off his equipment in this new concept, and this would have been in the late 90s. And lifted up his feet too early and settled back down and shattered his prop in front of us.
Oh, geez.
So I never got to see him fly, but we thought it was kind of funny in the video. Actually, you could see fragments of, because I had it on video, I had fragments of prop flying by my face, and you can see them in the camera. So we thought it was interesting, but that was, never saw it before that day.
So now how safe really is jumping out of a plane?
How safe? Oh,
Yeah.
I mean, the statistics are
crazy.
Yeah, it's I think there's an average of 20 deaths a year. Last year it goes down every year.
Per
Per about
1.1,
no, it's per 4 million.
4 million jumps. The USDA has
Can-
awesome stats on it.
Yeah.
Can we pay after we land?
Yeah.
You can buy your
No.
t-shirt. You pay more to buy your t-shirt.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, we volunteer you to go first.
Sure.
Go together. People go as couples all the time. Wedding anniversary. So many good
So
options.
how did you guys get into paramotoring and PPG stuff?
The neighbor sent Eric a video, and that's how we got into it. And I thought I was going to sit in the chair and take pictures and video.
So did you guys buy one machine and then try to make it work for both of you, or two different wings kind of thing? Or
No, I don't share well. So we kind of just went in, we jumped into it together. She got her stuff, I got my stuff. When I was doing my last few flights, I ended up pulling a groin muscle and it hurts so damn bad. But I finished my 25 flights, and that afternoon we were ordering Jade's trike, and I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to order a trike right away because I don't want to be at a point where I can't fly. So I actually do both. I'll do foot launch and I'll do trike. I love foot launch, but when I want to be lazy, I really like the trike.
yeah, and it was funny because we started quad, and then I went to foot launch to trike, back to foot launch again because I had some back issues and that sort of thing. And then so yeah, I can see it. I had it was, there's something different about a touch and go on a quad or a trike. Reminded me more of an airplane.
Yes. Yep.
Just something fun about doing a touch and go, and then and you don't have to run. So it felt like flying an airplane. But that's what's kind of funny is we were talking about, like, my flights are short, but we have two fixed wings. We have a Cessna 182 and an RV6 that's experimental, and so I'm always flying those around. And so sometimes I get in the air and I'm like, okay, I've done this already a couple times this week, so
Right.
I don't get as much of a rush out of it as and plus that many years. I don't know, how long have you guys, I never found out before, how long have you guys been paramotoring for?
A little over a year.
Oh, okay. Yeah. It's
Hi,
a different world.
Hi, everybody. Walter here.
From Australia.
From Australia, yeah.
Hey.
How are you? G'day.
Good morning, Walter.
Good morning. Yes, it is. Well, yeah, 10:56 here in Australia, the next day. Yeah, what day is it? Thursday.
For you, it's Thursday.
I can't think. Yeah, I can't think. Jenny, you said you've done over 500 jumps, and your husband's what, 1,200 or over 1,000?
I don't keep track anymore, really.
No. How long has it taken you to do that many jumps?
We get about 50 a year.
But we have friends who do 300, 400 a year. It depends on, we have friends who skydiving's their favorite sport, their only sport, and they'll travel and they'll do hundreds a year. Because we have the several different sports we like, we average, 50, 80 a year. So not nearly as many.
Okay, so you've been in it nearly 10 years then,
Yep.
Jennifer.
Yep.
Yeah. Oh, that's brilliant. I just curious. It sounds like a big number, 500 hours in an aircraft, let alone 500 jumps.
Yeah.
Sounds like a long time.
Yeah, we know a guy, Miles, that we jump with. He was a math professor up in Minneapolis, but he managed to hit close to, I think he's at 20,000 jumps now.
Wow.
And he's only 60 something years old. He's still,
Yeah, so he's been doing it for a lot of years, but he makes a lot in the weekend. So
Yeah.
Yeah, 20,000 mark. That's when we jump with some of these guys that are in the, 10 to 15, 20,000 jumps.
But I'm glad to impress you at 500. I'll take it.
Yeah, no,
I'll
hey,
take it.
all accolades to you. I think it's amazing personally. And, someone of your stature to do what you do, I suppose it makes you feel tall.
It does. It makes you feel, you feel more empowered the scarier things you do, regardless of how small you are. Yeah.
It's always been fun because she's always been the one to trust me, I think was a lot of it. I said, hey, you should try this. And she's like, and then I just say, I won't ask you to do anything, whatever. And we talk about it, and then she does it, and then she is hooked. So I think,
I think on your behalf, it's a big, what's the word? It's a big jump to get your wife or your, whatever to commit to what you're doing, which is in our para family. It's great to see husbands and wife doing it. It's got to help the marriage and the bond between two people. Seriously,
hurt it.
It strengthens or weakens.
No, but I mean, I think a lot of it was I'd done so much in life by the time I was 30, and then had kids, and most of it I was bored of skydiving. Flying airplanes, I wasn't doing it so much. You just get off the ground, you just whatever. Most of it I was bored, but it gave me a reason to do some of it. It was fun to see. I like more teaching and to see her get experience more than me. Go out to the field, and sometimes I don't tell her, but she'll find out later that I wasn't in the mood to fly that day. It was fun to go out there and watch her fly. And I'll get off the ground and land, and I'm like, okay, no big deal. But it was a lot of fun to see her take stuff. So
12 minutes later.
So,
What's up, Walter?
How are you, mate?
Good.
So I would like to introduce you guys, Jen and Chris, to a couple of the other guys. I don't know Josh or Hot Buttered Steve yet, but
Josh is the guy that I started to fly with. We found out through, I think it was his cousin or something, saw me flying and said, hey, my cousin does this. And then I met Josh, and we were the only two, or I think there's four of us around doing it.
I pretty much showed up in his backyard.
No, it was weird the first time. One of the first crazy experiences that people don't appreciate was I was thinking about this the other day. We said, hey, I'm gonna go fly, and he's like, I'm gonna go fly, but I'm leaving here. I'm like, oh, okay, maybe whatever, we'll land somewhere and whatever. And I get up and we're flying around, and all of a sudden I look over and he's right next to me. And I about shit myself. We were right over by Ladlow's. You remember that?
Yeah.
I'm flying around, I'm like, holy crap, there's another person in the freaking air. What the
Another
hell?
one of me.
There's another one of these. Holy shit. And we're flying around. I'm like, I landed, and that was one of the coolest moments of it all.
Yep.
So all these other guys have no idea how, I don't know. I think it was just the time.
When back then it was just, you, me, and, JD is JD, but the other guys were not permanent fixtures of our community.
Right. It was us. Yeah.
And like every time you come to the field, you're like, holy crap, there's another person I don't know. Like Steve over here.
Yeah, like Stalker Steve over here.
Yeah.
Hot Buttered Steve.
But
Nice
Chris
to
is
meet
I
you.
just
actually,
hanging around you with my motor.
Chris was actually one of the people that was like, yeah, we need another instructor. So I think you should do it. And he's like, I don't want to do it. And I was like, okay.
Need an instructor.
Like
Yeah.
I'm the instigator. I'm always one who gives people bad ideas.
No, it was a great idea because it's changed for the better for sure.
Yeah. He was the natural and definitely was I think that's the problem that I saw with Paramotor was education and lack of resources. So back then I had to order stuff. Nobody had anything in stock. there was Black Hawk Paramotors, and I didn't really care for those guys. And I went to Oshkosh, I think the second or third year I did it, and there was only Black Hawk there. And you couldn't get anything else. Everything else there was some Fresh Breeze guy, but there was like one. So there's probably 5 dealers around the United States, really.
Well, and I've been flying Nirvana for like
Nirvana.
12 years.
Yeah,
I've
Nirvana.
flown that.
But that was when I looked at the price. I'm like, well, no.
Yeah, no.
And so, there really wasn't, that was it though. And so I always thought, gosh, this would really grow if we had instructors, we had resources, because I couldn't travel to train.
Right. Yeah.
And most people can't leave for weeks and do that sort of thing. And so, now of course this is what happens. Josh becomes an instructor, and now instead of 5 guys, we have 20 some.
Yeah, I mean, there's 20 something on our group, and then we still have, random stragglers that come in, and it's
yeah,
awesome.
every now and then I hear somebody that's flying around out here that nobody knows whose it is. So.
Is this your house, Josh?
Yeah, notice the wings.
I noticed some wings.
Bed.
Yeah.
And
I got the pylon, and then the pictures, and then which way to go? Yeah, and then there's just wings laying out. It's
Josh, have you been on Robert Michaels' show or David Wolf's? Your background looks familiar.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Not that I'm saying your house looks familiar, that I've been there.
My Christmas tree's right there. I still have carpet down there.
There's a lot of women that have seen that.
No, there's not many.
Wait a minute. Hold on.
There's
You
2 of
got
them.
your Christmas tree still up?
Well, my daughter wants to decorate it for every holiday, so and it's black. So
We'd like to introduce you to Will Fly.
Yeah, Will, I didn't know you had family.
Right?
Show your Christmas tree, Will.
yeah. So she's like, no, we can't take it down. We're going to decorate it for every holiday. And I'm like, that's fine, but just do it or I'm going to get rid of it.
Okay. Oh gosh. Hot butter.
Oh,
Oh my God.
You got it too? I thought it was just laziness, but my
Hey,
kid
Will's
gave me a
gonna
reason
show
to be
his
lazy.
now too. We give him crap about.
I'm lazy.
Where's Will Flies?
Nice.
Oh my
Are
God.
you kidding me? Out of the 8 people or whatever in
And
the
a
group,
single guy.
we have 4 that have their Christmas trees up.
Well, 1/3
I
at
am
least.
getting our tree up.
No.
I know.
Yeah, I don't.
I feel behind already.
This is an odd discussion in September, but
We're just early, that's all.
Getting ready.
Early.
or late.
Now we're early. It's past the halfway mark.
It is okay. So now it's early.
We're late, babe.
You guys ever do skydive boogies?
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
we've done quite a few.
They're a
Were you
blast.
guys around during the Quincy years?
Yep, I did. I was there.
I'm gonna grab wine.
I've done. I got to do a helicopter jump out at Quincy, and that was ridiculousness.
Quincy was the best.
There was a lot of shenanigans going on there.
It was. It's
Usually
something
there's
they
at
moved it
least
for a
one
school.
fatality. There's a fatality almost every year.
It was almost oops. Hook
What's
turn.
that?
Hook
Yeah,
turn.
we got it. Yeah, unfortunately, we showed up right after a guy took a divot, and I don't think he survived that.
Yeah. Quincy
And then,
was good back in the day.
Another year, my friend
What's
was
a divot?
it's gruesome. He did a low hook turn trying to swoop in. And I mean, back then, even then, they would still hit 50 some miles an hour on a turn.
Yeah.
And you could see the dents in the ground where he hit. And he was
Yeah.
already
Yeah. Been there. You ever
Yeah,
did
there
you
was
jump the jet there?
What's
When they
that?
when did you jump the jet when they brought the jet in?
I never did the 727 or whatever. No, I never jumped
No.
the jet. No, I think it was cost. I was in my 20s.
Yeah, it was. It was very expensive to jump out, but you get to jump on all sorts of cool aircraft there, though.
Yeah, there's a lot of people that want to bring that back, but I don't think people realize what insanity was now until you go back to Quincy.
Yeah.
And I look at what it was like. It was overload of.
How many times
Anytime-
were you there?
Couple.
What's
So
that?
I have a question.
Mhm.
The other, and they're there are things that you shouldn't do and things that you know have been done and probably are still happening. But the other night, I'm pretty sure that I heard a parachute open. So are there, what do you call it? Exceptions?
Premature opening?
No, this was a jump at night.
Oh yeah, we do skydives at night are legal.
Oh yeah, night
Yes,
jumps.
but they are
Oh yeah,
legal.
yeah, we do them all the time. Well, we're having another event. Is that next weekend, babe?
This 2 days.
Oh, it's in a couple days. We won't be here, but they're doing night jumps.
Are there
Night. I've done night crew before.
Oh,
Night parachute stacks. I've done
that's cool.
formation flights, jumps
That's
at
pretty
night. And the requirement is you have to have a strobe. You know, you have to comply with, you have to have a strobe. And then normally you want a flashlight because if you need to look up to make sure that you don't have a malfunction, you can see your main canopy.
And a whistle.
And a whistle. So that if you think you're going around, you're near other people, you can whistle to show, to, you know. But normally we do it with full moon. You know, a full moon night, and it's beautiful. It's a crazy cool feeling, but it's legal.
Is there any ground lighting required?
Yeah,
No.
you gotta have a ground fixation. Don't you have to have like a landing
No.
zone that's lit up?
You don't have
That's
to
when we jumped.
legally.
We had to have a ground lit up for when we jumped.
Yeah, no, when we jumped, we had, well, she was saying before we put out Christmas lights, that's for the runway.
Yeah,
So we would land.
everything had fixation with ground.
I just land in the dark. I mean, by the time you get down there and start getting close, you can usually see it.
Full moon landings or full moon flights are amazing though. Not paramotor flights because I've never done one of those, but yeah, that moon lights up the ground like crazy.
Yeah, we've had some nights where it got cloudy on that and
Oh,
a little scary, but
right.
yeah, I mean, night jumps are a blast.
So Josh, you do skydiving also?
So I never got past 13. I heard her in the background. I never got past like 12 or 13 jumps. In fact, the last static line jump I did was Jennifer's first static line jump. And that was after Chris and I met. And her face was priceless when she was first out and back towards the front of the plane. And they popped that door open and she went to get out and she was like, oh.
And they opened the door at 4,000 feet and they tell you to climb out.
Right. That was so awesome. And I was always on my static lines. I did it like 4 different times going to get my license. And that was the first time I was last out. So she went out first and I was like, oh, that's what it looks like. But yeah, so now she has 500 jumps and I still have like 12 or 13. But I don't consider mine jumps. I call them let goes. That's how it starts.
I guess.
Hey, Jade, do you notice what Josh is drinking there?
Is it like the apple beer?
Girl
It's
beer.
gross.
Girl
all I
beer.
have.
Dude, I had
My
one.
husband drinks the apple cider stuff too. So
Too sweet.
Yeah.
hey, Jennifer, I make wine.
What kind of wine?
Well,
Bring- Bring some with when you come to jump and fly with us in Nebraska.
Grape wine.
I'll have one in each hand.
No, that's not what Eric said. The kind of wine she makes.
A wine when it's too windy.
Go ahead, Tony. What did he say?
That's just between me and Eric.
Oh, okay.
Is anybody here
It's
going?
too windy, it's too cold.
Anybody here going to the endless foot drag?
We were planning on it, but after doing Ohio, it's just too long of a drive for us.
I was going to be in Ohio, but we had an event at Millard Airport. Hey, there's a carrot.
Oh, there's carrots.
I want the fat girl ketchup. I'm going to go get the fat
Where's the
girl
ranch?
ketchup.
Where's the
Jennifer,
ranch?
you must have good eyesight.
Wine and ranch. Wine and carrots. No
It's
ranch.
the new ketchup. I mean, everybody used to put ketchup on things and now it's ranch. So that's like, you got to put ranch on everything. But so after Ohio, it was a no-go. Yeah.
Yeah, well, one, because I can't leave until 4:00 from work on Friday. And in Ohio, we had at least Monday off where we got stuck Monday morning in the mud.
Okay.
So we at least had that day to drive, and we won't have Monday off with the holiday this round.
So far, the weather's not looking super awesome through Wednesday, but
Right.
we go down Sunday afternoon and see how it works, or see how if the runway has cars on it, then we just roll in towards dark.
Were you at Bad Apples?
No, that's another one I missed because
That was our first one that we went to.
Yeah. Oh, when dude broke his hip.
Nick, yeah.
Nick, yes. Yeah. I met him for the first time, him and
Melissa
at Salton Sea this year.
Oh.
Yeah.
How do you break his hip? Landing?
Stall-ish.
Flying in the
Stall on takeoff.
midday.
Oh,
And
turbulence.
yeah, I don't know.
Jennifer, is your husband an AFF instructor?
Is he a what?
We don't
Is he
have
an
AFF up here.
instructor?
That we do have an AFF now, actually. That
Oh, do we?
a year ago. Yep. No, Chris and I are both static line. We do have 2 AFF instructors. They just started the program this last year or so.
Oh, now I will probably come out and do
Now,
that.
yeah.
I will do it.
AFF instructors.
I've got like 90 minutes.
Wait, are you recording that? He just said he's going to do it for sure. Do we got that recorded?
If you've got AFF, I'll do it.
Yeah, we got 2 AFF instructors right now.
Okay.
Hey, we're recording.
Yeah, no, and then I'll be like, oh, I'm having so much fun after the canopy open. I'm going to go back to the field and fly a paramotor.
I'm telling you that's what's hard. The paramotoring, it's the last 2 hours of the day. So you can skydive during the day with higher winds.
If we had
both worlds.
If we had a drop zone at the Bootleggers Cherries. Is that what you think?
That's perfect.
Wait, hold on. You're in Ohio. Wait,
No.
Jade, you're in Ohio?
We're in Wisconsin.
You're in Wisconsin.
This is from Moonshiners.
Wisconsin, dear babe.
Yes. So you know Nick Fizakis?
Yep.
That dude has some, I'm sure it's rubbing alcohol, but his moonshine that he brings around, it makes people not remember things. Yeah,
What's his name?
Stuff. Nick Fizakis. He's on Robert Michael's show. Him and Sean.
Nick. You
Nick
know
from Ohio.
Nick, Jade.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. He's like in New York City when they open the trench coats and they've got all the watches. He's just got like different types of moonshine. I think he's out of it. And my buddy Corey was at Flying Circus this year. He was drinking moonshine with them, and he didn't remember the last 4 hours of his consciousness. I was like, no, you were drinking. I think it was acetone. I think it really was.
You can use it to take off,
Yes, nail polish,
and
paint. Yeah.
Oh yeah. What did you ask me the other day? We're out flying a couple months ago, Josh. You're like, do you have nail polish remover here?
Because my child needed to take off my 9-year-old wanted to take off her fake nails.
Like, do I look like I have nail polish remover at the?
Well, was she there?
I don't know. You just came up and asked if I had nail polish remover some random day.
Maybe I was trying to get stickers off of something.
That I think is more like it.
Maybe I want to stick it in my eyes. I'm not sure.
I'm going to have to sign off in a minute here because I got to go pack a suitcase because I have to catch an airplane in the morning.
Where did you say you're going again?
New Orleans.
Oh, yeah.
It's a good time to go.
Hey, Jennifer.
Right?
Jennifer, have you got 20/20 vision eating all those carrots?
I love all these carrots. Do you want it? Here's a true statement. I just had to get prescription readers this week. They just came in the mail.
That's because you're old as shit.
Old as 47 and a half. I got prescription readers this week.
Honey, you're young. You're a baby.
They're darling. Chris says I look like a hot librarian. So I'm gonna go with that.
Steve.
Yeah.
Steve's girlfriend's a librarian.
Yeah.
Looking like
Hot buttered Steve.
Yeah, the only bad thing is she shushes me when I moan. Jeez.
She what to you?
Nothing. I didn't say anything.
How do I look? The hot librarian.
You look like a hot, sexy 40-ish librarian. I mean, 29-ish.
Yeah,
Hot for
I
teacher.
got some
I'm going for
overdue
hot.
books. What are you gonna do?
I'm going for hot for teacher is what I'm going for. Thank you guys so much. I got to go pack a suitcase.
Yes, enjoy your mini
Great.
vacation.
We'll send you
Great.
pictures from the foot drag.
Yep.
Yeah,
Thank you
Stalker
very much,
Steve
guys.
says hi.
Yeah.
Thanks for coming
Thank
on the
you.
show.
Keep in touch.
Chris, I was
okay?
going to say, it's
Appreciate
like
it.
having a new
Now we gotta
woman
go to
around.
I want to go to Australia.
Now we got to go to
Yeah.
Australia.
Yeah.
Oh, don't be
Go.
teasing Walter.
All right, thanks, guys.
Bye, guys.
Nice meeting
All
you
right.
both. Great.
You too. Be safe.
Hey, Angela and Tony, what happened last night? You cut us off.
I know. My phone died.
Hey? Your phone.
phone?
Ah,
My phone died.
okay. I
Sorry,
thought Tony touched the wrong button or something, you know.
I'm always touching the wrong button, Walter.
No, that's pushing the wrong buttons.
That too.
Wait now, I'm stopping the recording now.